the Down the Rabbit Hole podcast. My name is Dawson.
I'm Jack.
Yep.
There's Matthew beside me, usually behind the camera, but now he's here with us. And we're gonna go back on our usual banter of politics and government and such.
My
So,
favorite.
I've got a question for you two. In y'all's opinion, and I'll say mine too. What are the top 5 most influential events in the world since the year 1900? So that could be anything as far back as like the San Francisco earthquake of 1906
Are we talking about
to like
politics?
politics or just world events, anything.
Oh, I'd have to say probably
But like
the Great
which
Depression.
Which
is
one?
number
Like,
one.
yeah, okay. That's
Number one is the Great Depression because that really affected the world. Probably the World Wars and mainly like Depression, wars. 9/11 definitely affected
God.
a lot
Yeah,
on our
9/11
airports and everything like that.
9/11 changed the way we do pretty much everything.
Yeah,
the
I know.
way we do travel as a whole.
Yeah.
Jack.
I'd say definitely if there's gonna be World War II. I mean, that was and World War One. I feel like that's what really turned America into more of a superpower. Because winning those wars gained the respect of everybody. I feel like that's got to be on there.
Yeah.
I agree with the Great Depression. I feel like that's definitely a big monument, and also 9/11. But then after that, I feel like it just gets where it's a personal opinion, because I feel like that's the big
Understand
three. So, but then 4 and 5, I have to go like World War One, and then I don't know. Probably a stock market crash 2009. I feel like that was a pretty big deal.
Yeah, well, the stock market crash 2009, it really wasn't as bad as the Great Depression,
Yeah,
not at
yeah.
all, because, I mean, it was only down for, a couple of days, and then they were able to get it back up, and it really didn't affect a whole lot.
Oh, it affected gas prices.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel like we're going through one right now at this point.
gas.
We're fixing to.
So,
Um,
in my opinion, World War I was the most influential event of the last 100 years. And I say this because it sparked everything. Everything as we know it started with the death or the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. Think about it. If World War I didn't happen, we wouldn't have had World War II, the Korean conflict, the Great Depression, the Vietnam War, and the wars on terror. We wouldn't have had 9/11. Everything that we know, every major event that has happened in the world since since World War I has been affected because of that.
Well, World War II also helped us get out of the Depression. So
Oh yeah, but okay, hold on.
in some ways.
So,
Shiza.
Mr. FDR, I think we talked about this in the last podcast, but do y'all believe that FDR contacted the Emperor of Japan for help? He pretty much contacted them to tell them to bomb Pearl Harbor because war is the only way to get out of the economic depression.
Yes, I believe
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I believe
I've seen multiple theories on that, but it's never been proven, obviously. But
Dawson, turn me up a little bit.
it's all the way up, Jack.
Oh, for real?
Just get a little closer to the mic.
I mean,
Well, no, you ain't gotta eat it.
Just eat it.
yeah.
Okay. All right. What are some of y'all's personal favorite conspiracy theories? For me, the Patriot Act is one of my most are y'all familiar with that?
No, can
Patriot
you
Act.
inform me on the Patriot Act,
So
please?
the Patriot Act was established, I believe, during the Cold War.
This is what you learned off of that
Wow.
9-hour YouTube video.
It is, yes. So, for you wondering, I've been sick the past 2 days, and so I have spent most of my time watching this YouTube video that is a mega compilation of lots of conspiracy theories. Anyway, the Patriot Act was it's like an unofficial act passed during the Cold War that pretty much gave the U.S. government the okay to spy on people's homes, to bug their houses and to spy on them, set up, the whole thing with the flower van down the street watching you walk down the park, and get nabbed up. That's the Patriot Act. Pretty much saying so the whole shtick of it was to find commies, was to rat out communists. They bugged up people's houses to listen what they would talk about in private and see what their true beliefs were, I guess. And then they would, the van parked down the road would hop out and go snatch you at your bed.
kidnapping. Sounds fun.
Just go get him, boys. So what about y'all? Is there any personal favorites of y'all's?
I really like. I mean, I've got like honestly two. I like studying like theories about 9/11, of course. I mean, I feel like that's a pretty big one. A lot of people like, and then also a hot topic. Like, I mean, I like because I watched a Netflix show about like Epstein. You know, I have many theories about him. So I could get into a lot of theories about him.
I feel like 9/11 conspiracy theories are one of my favorites because have you seen? I can't remember what exactly it was, but pretty much the person that owned 9/11 did like a tax write-off or something like the day before.
Yeah, lucky Larry,
and made like what I think it was like some billions of dollars off.
Oh
of
no, he the day before the attacks on September 10th, he withdrew the exact amount it would be to rebuild them.
Yeah, and then I also some people say that there wasn't even a plane that hit it, but
no, well there's a video.
There's videos of it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And even
but
you can argue say like,
I've also heard
there's no videos of the first plane, but there is
one video.
Yeah, have you seen it where it was like the firemen training?
Yeah, they were doing like training and then they seen the airplane coming over. I have seen where they same day they did the Pentagon. I have heard because they never found anything of a plane there apparently, which makes people wonder like was it really a plane? And I've also heard people outside of the Pentagon saying that they felt heat come off of it, and usually only like explosions off of like bombs and stuff usually come with heat. But you know. Well, an airplane with a lot of fuel in it, because these planes were also going from New York to L.A. That's why they chose those planes, because they had so much fuel in them.
Yeah,
that's right.
But also, jet fuel can't melt steel beams.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. So, and that's a whole nother bag of worms we can crack open if y'all really feel like it.
I like gummy worms.
Do y'all believe? Oh boy, I'm sweating here thinking about saying this. Do y'all think that there were bombs planted inside of the 9/11 towers?
100%.
Prior?
I believe so.
Probably.
Because there had already been an attempted attack on the towers before.
Oh yeah, in the 90s, they tried to bomb the basement of it. I think they actually got through with it, but it didn't do
a lot of damage.
Didn't do a lot of damage. I think it only killed a couple of people. It was only like 4 or 5 though. It wasn't many.
Jack, can you hand me that Star Wars thing over there? I want to give you all a quick example of something. So here's the part about it that's odd to me.
Are you talking about the pancake effect and how it dropped in like 10 seconds?
Yeah.
So okay. So say anyone got a pencil or anything? This is our plane. All right. There is our tower. Excuse me for a second. So, not yet. We have to cut that. So, say your plane hits up here. Mm-hmm. Okay. That means it's that much lighter, it's caved in, whatever. How does the whole thing, it gets hit from an angle, it gets hit from straight on. The trajectory doesn't add up as to why it would just completely
collapse. Yeah.
Straight down. If anything, with the point of impact and where it melted and all that junk, should it have not fell? Or at least cracked?
Well, another thing I've also seen where people on the streets, like as it was coming down, said that they felt like they felt heat off of it, which
and that goes back to the bombs.
Yeah, because
explosives.
The airplane had already exploded. There shouldn't have been heat coming off of a collapsed building. I don't think.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's just me. I don't know. I could be wrong.
No, I don't think you're wrong. I'm just trying to fix this back. Okay. Anyway. So. Communist, am I right?
Yep. Joseph Stalin.
You mean Joseph Stalin?
Hmm?
You mean Joseph Stalin?
Yeah.
So let's make the argument here. Who do y'all think was worse, morally? Adolf Hitler.
Adolf Hitler.
If you're gonna ask Stalin, I think Stalin's worse.
Stalin. Yeah, I was gonna ask, or Joseph Stalin.
I think Stalin's way worse because Hitler, the Holocaust.
Joseph Stalin had a better KD, so
Yeah, I mean that's true, but I feel like
wasn't his like 64-1, like
it
64
was like,
million?
I was gonna say
Like
it was
64 million to like
30 million.
30 million. Yeah, I knew it because Hitler
There
only
was
killed.
some ridiculous number.
Yeah, he had a really good KD.
Well, I mean, like the thing is Joseph Stalin.
Those were team kills.
Yeah, definitely gotten the kill confirmed game.
His
that time.
his win loss ratio was not very good though.
He don't even know what team deathmatch is. He's his own player.
He had a lot of tactical moves.
Yeah, he played a lot of free for all.
Yeah, big infected guy too. I feel like.
Yeah. What do y'all believe in the Russian sleep experiment?
Yeah, I
Oh,
do.
God.
I believe in it.
So no, it's actually it's an internet hoax. Like
Oh,
that
really?
Yeah. It's kind of like the back rooms. You know, that was like a story that was kind of made up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the back rooms. It's just a horror story that was made. I think
On,
it's,
but I mean, honestly, like the communists back then, that
They
would
would've
not
done
do
that shit.
that
my
sounds
first
like
time
something they
hearing
would
it-
do.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
first time hearing it, I genuinely thought it was real.
Yeah.
Like I was not surprised whenever. Okay, the idea of trying to see how long the human body can stay forcing it to do something it doesn't want to do, it's gonna break. It's gonna fall apart. Like if you take your arm and you're like, man, I really got to itch like my back, a certain part of my back, and you reach your arm around, you can't reach it. But if you just keep forcing it, what's gonna happen? You're gonna do one of two things.
You'll hurt yourself.
You're gonna either break your arm or you're gonna tear a muscle or something. Okay, same thing. If you try and keep the human brain functioning for hours longer, days longer,
Enough caffeine will help.
no, caffeine will actually make it worse. Because caffeine like restricts it,
Yeah.
tightens your arteries.
You don't need that. Just blood
Yeah,
clots.
just
Sorry.
honestly
Is it
take
the
a
other-
whole,
Or is it
just
the other way?
just take a whole tub of pre-workout and whatnot.
Oh
Honestly.
yeah. I usually get like a scoop of pre-workout and I put it in the Monster and then I shotgun it.
Yeah,
That's usually what I do.
Did y'all hear about that? It was back during like the 80s or the 90s, I believe. But this professor or scientist in Australia was demonstrating to her students what would happen if she injected pure black coffee into her blood system.
Oh, you're gonna say black tar heroin.
Yeah, I did too. I'm not even gonna lie.
Like pure black, like freshly brewed coffee into her bloodstream.
She died.
Died instantly.
Yeah, no joke. Because literally anything besides blood in your bloodstream will kill you.
Yeah.
Well, it injected straight into your
Yeah.
bloodstream.
Yeah. I'm about to say, like, because there's a lot of medicines and stuff.
Yeah, but certain things like that, like water and well, no, I don't guess water would hurt because you're
Okay.
made of water.
So I don't know how familiar you are with the back rooms, but the back rooms is actually a very interesting concept.
Sounds fun to go to.
So in the internet series made by Kane Pixels, the back rooms was described as being made. It was what I believe it is anyway. They had a computer and they had it try and simulate a city with jobs, factories, neighborhoods, offices, etc., etc. Well, it had the idea of it, but it didn't really know what to do. You know, like AI art. Have y'all seen like the art AI makes on like TikTok and
I
stuff?
probably have. I just
Yeah, it's like that really weird abstract looking art, like the AI generated art.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's essentially like that. It has an idea of what it's doing, but it doesn't really get the whole gist of it.
Yeah.
So that happened. Anyway, Portal it was created somehow in like this weird pocket dimension. It's got all this stuff to do with electromagnetic fields and whatnot. Anyway, it was created to solve the housing and storage problem that in this universe was rising in America. Do you would y'all want to live in the back rooms?
Oh yeah, it'd be fine.
I don't know. That's like
Even if the inevitable, let's say you didn't know about the demons and monsters in there. It was just like, oh, this is endless space. And say it came out the way it was supposed to look like. So say it was pretty much just like a normal world, except it was about 6 feet tall. 8 feet tall. I'd say. About 8 feet tall.
I'm only 6 foot, so it'd be fine.
I'd be kind of cutting it close a little bit.
You ain't no close to 8 foot tall.
Yeah, I know, but
Getting there.
nah, dude. If I lift my arms up, though, I am.
Well, some of us got to have that problem.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of some other conspiracies that interested me while I was on my sick binge, or some other things I heard about. King of the Castle. God. Carson, what's one of your favorite conspiracy theories?
Hey, let's
Yeah,
talk about
you
the
do.
27 Club.
I really don't know much of that. To be completely honest with you.
Yeah, we need to find something that we can all kind of talk off of and branch. So I'm trying to think here. What about
About Area 51. We know about that, don't we?
Sweet Jesus, Area 51 is driven down. Okay, I got one. The Illuminati. Do y'all
Fun.
believe that there really is like a group of elites out there that
Probably.
are kind of
Yeah.
puppeteering the world?
Probably.
Who do y'all think are in it?
I don't know.
I mean,
They'll probably never be released. So that's the
Well,
thing.
no, but who do you think is in it?
I truly
I
believe.
don't know. Jeffrey Epstein.
No, we know he was.
I mean, honestly, I think but at the same time, you got to have a big money guy in there. A big money guy. So I feel like,
Trump.
I wouldn't go like that. I'd probably say like Gates, Zuckerberg, some of those guys. I feel like because Gates owns Microsoft, he controls everything.
I can't remember who it was.
I feel like Bezos
Someone
is probably there too.
Someone ended up.
Musk.
They were like a quote unquote a part of the Illuminati, and they started talking more about it on like some type of podcast. And he ended up going missing like a week later, and was like to never be found.
I know.
Yeah.
One of my buddies, he showed me this video of Jim Carrey. He was on a talk show, and Jim Carrey came out, and he was doing this symbol with his hands. He was making a triangle with his fingers and sticking his tongue through it. And he was just walking around doing that for like 2 minutes, and eventually the talk show host gets him to sit down. He was like, "No, what was that all about?" And Jim Carrey just goes, "Oh, don't act stupid. You know what that is." And I don't know, like, he's like, "I'm tired of all these lies and trying to keep it all a secret and hush-hush." Yeah. And not even 10 seconds later, he got a phone call. And he just answered the phone, and he just looks at the camera, and he goes, "It was all a joke. It was all a joke." Puts his phone up.
Yeah, well, that's not suspicious at all.
Oh, yeah, because he probably looked up and saw Buddy with a rifle and a red scope.
He saw a red dot on his head and just...
He said, "Oh.
Is that good?"
Never mind. Hey, that's another thing we can talk about, the JFK assassination. So, if JFK supposedly was shot in the back of the head...
magic bullet.
We can talk about the magic bullet.
Yeah.
The Make-A-Wish bullet.
If JFK was shot in the back of the head, then how come when he was shot, his body leaned, like, back? Ow, God.
There's a wall there.
Yeah, I didn't know if you knew that or
I just
not.
got JFK'd by a brick. Anyway, when his body was shot, he went backwards. Now, I don't know if y'all know anything about physics, but whenever something's coming that way,
Knocks you forward.
it would not. You would slump forward. That means, and we have visual and like oral proof of this. Like people saw it and people talked about it. But a CIA agent in the car in front of him, or it might have been in the front seat of the car he was in, stood up with his AR and turned around to like try and find the shooter, and ended up shooting Kennedy in the neck. And they think that was the one that killed him. But Matthew,
That's all right.
you can talk about the magic bullet.
Oh, I don't know much about it. I'm being completely honest with you, but all I remember is from what I've heard that the reasoning behind all that, like why they think the agents would do that, is because apparently JFK was giving out too much of the government, and
he wanted
to.
I think he wanted to dissolve the federal banking system.
Yeah.
You know, him and Lincoln both wanted to do that, and they both got assassinated. Yep. There's a lot of correlation between the two.
Yeah, everything's corrupt nowadays.
Oh, everything is orchestrated and everything is crooked. Everything's played to their hand.
Oh yeah,
there's a lot of correlation.
There's a lot of higher ups that nobody knows about, and if they don't get their way, they're going to get their way either way. So
the Illuminati, everything is orchestrated. Everything from wars to how we pay taxes to the cars we drive to how we drive them to our iPhones.
Oh yeah, I was talking about been going around saying the double gulp cup on TikTok, right? You remember that? Yeah, got on TikTok about 20 minutes ago. First thing that pulled up.
Double gulp
cup. You cannot use double gulp cup.
And see,
Only
it's-
Slurpee.
And you see, it's funny, but it's creepy.
Oh yeah, I've also talked about one time. I think it was back last year. Someone ended up like hacking Florence's like system or something like that. Like Florence, the city.
School?
No, like the city, like the whole thing. I don't know exactly.
Like airing it out.
I don't know. They hacked like their like system or something like that. And I was talking to my mom about it. And like the first thing I got on Google to like search it up, it was like a tab under it. Like I had just talked about it, and it was talking about it, like the little like link to it. And I was like, that's great.
No, look, I remember this so vaguely. It was Christmas, and we were at my uncle's house. It might have been Thanksgiving. We were at my uncle's house, and my aunt was sitting there, and she was like talking. We were talking. She was talking about quitting smoking. Like her and my uncle both. They were like sitting there talking about quitting smoking, and I swear to God, she got on YouTube to show me something. The very first ad.
It was one of those quit nicotine things.
It was one of those truth ads.
Yeah, one of the truth
And
ads.
I was like, oh.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all.
No, they listen to everything you say. They're listening right now. You know, where there's probably a bounty out. It's probably a small bounty, but there's probably a bounty out for me at a nickel.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's not my problem though. If I die, I die.
Yeah, I mean,
It's like, you know, you send a TikTok to them. It's like, oh, I have a boyfriend. I have a girlfriend. You know, I'm on a watch list.
I'm wanted.
yeah.
In 3 states.
47,
On the watch list.
47 counties have a bounty of over $100 for my head.
Oh God, what's Redneck Jimmy doing? He's coming for me. You coming with me, boy?
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Jack. What? I'm trying to think of one here. So you said you like the 9/11 conspiracies. That's a pretty good place. Would you ever want to know more though, or do you like? Are you cool with the curtain? Do y'all believe that we should know the truth, like everything that happens? We should know everything.
I feel like as Americans we should. I mean, I feel like that should be
Yeah.
a thing, but it's never going to
Well, I
be.
mean, at the same
We're
time,
never going to actually know the truth.
like, okay, I think we should. At the same time, you can understand why. Because if everybody knew the truth, we couldn't. Like, I mean, it's just at this point, it's mass. Like, everybody's gonna get killed. People are gonna get involved. I mean, it's just.
You talking about like an all-out war? If we knew the truth?
Like, I mean, the same thing as like the Civil War, but 10 times worse. I'd say.
Oh yeah, easily. If there was a civil war today, the casualties would be in the millions.
Hey man, I think the South wins though. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh yeah, whenever you arm up rednecks against people that don't know what kind of gender they are, I mean, you're gonna have
Success.
it's clearly lopsided.
I'm thinking the East versus the West.
You know, I was thinking about that too. Imagine that's how it's
the
leaning
East will
nowadays.
easily win, no doubt.
That's how it's leaning nowadays. Is more towards like the East and the West. I don't
East
know.
would most definitely win. We have Philadelphia, Chicago. I mean,
Yeah, we got New York too.
we got Florida,
we have Florida.
Billy's gonna release.
and we
his
got
pet
we got the
alligator.
Bronx. Okay, we got Brooklyn. All right, we chill.
No, but at the same
and we got a
time-
bunch of pissed off
Y'all
rednecks.
talking
So
about y'all talking about Atlanta?
Nah, dude. I'll tell you one thing though. The West have Compton. Crazy shit that goes on.
Okay,
in Compton.
what else?
okay, and
Well, I'm just saying Compton.
I'm just saying it's
Okay.
a lot easier. It's a lot easier to get a good pop shot on somebody whenever they're walking through the desert than it is walking through the Appalachians.
it's also a lot easier to be able to shoot somebody if you have your gun straight.
Okay, that's too far.
Carson thought that was funny.
Yeah, Carson thought it was pretty funny.
Hey Carson, what time is it?
It's about that time.
No, it's not about that time yet. I say we're about 15 minutes in. 15 minutes left.
Yeah, it's
We got
1:50.
14 minutes.
All right. So, are y'all familiar with Waco?
What is that?
Waco, Texas.
Waco, Texas.
Oh, Waco, Texas.
I'm not. I know this. I don't know any conspiracies about it. But
Well, my dear friends, let me open up a can of worms here. So there was a compound in Texas called Waco. It was in a town called Waco. Well, it wasn't called Waco. But the town it was in was called Waco. Anyway, Waco. There was a it was more or less of like a community center than what it was anything, because people could come and go as they pleased. But it was pretty much, there was a church there, and people followed this guy who claimed to be the Son of God.
oh yeah, I know about that.
And anyway, he he claimed to have like messages from God, and he'd be able to like directly talk to God. And
I
that
don't know. I didn't know this conspiracy happened in Waco. Like I didn't know this went down in Waco.
Oh yeah.
But I've heard about this.
And
before.
anyway, they everyone I'm just gonna call it a compound from now. They weren't. I don't think they were communists, but anyway, everyone here had their own jobs, their own cars, their own lives. They mainly spent most of their time in this compound, and one of them just so happened to trade and sell guns. Well, the FBI had already been on this guy. I can't remember his name to save the life of me.
Jose Cuervo.
No, it wasn't Jose. I can't remember his name. Anyway,
Pablo Escobar.
I'm just gonna call him Paul.
Hey, dude, you know how loyal Pablo Escobar's friends were? They burnt down a city to break him out of jail.
Yeah, I know.
We can switch over to that, but I just want to get this Waco thing out of the way real quick. So anyway, compound, crazy Christians. Anyway, FBI. The FBI wanted this guy because they believed he was fascinated with cheese pizza, if you know what I mean. CP.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say it on here, but we're cheese pizza. Anyway, they thought the guy really liked cheese pizza because he was actually married to a 14-year-old, and the parents were okay with it. And under Texas laws, that's fine.
Hey,
according to Texas laws, if you are above the age of 18, if you are above the age, above the age of 18, and you're trying to marry someone younger, as long as you have their parents' consents.
Yeah, but if she was 14. I was fixing to say if she's over the age of 16, then she's legal consent, so it wouldn't be a problem. But
anyway, dating a 14 or marrying a 14-year-old as a 25-year-old is still not a good look.
When was this?
The 90s.
Yeah.
It's still kind of weird.
1990s.
I mean, it would have been weird in like the 1930s because that was kind of normal back then.
It
was normal to like do.
You're my first cousin. That's only by one.
Oh, you're my first cousin, and you're 9 years old, and I'm 27. That sounds like a great idea.
You like to wash cast iron?
Yep.
Your age is on the clock.
Anyway, somebody in the compound was buying and selling guns legally. He had his FFLA license and all that stuff. Anyway, FBI thought,
background checks.
ATF thought, guns.
Texas.
Colts. Texas. And so what they did was they sent two idiots down there to rent a house across from the compound. And they said they were college students. Well, everyone in the compound knew they were ATF because, for one, they were 35-year-old men with beards. Why would they rent a trailer in the middle of nowhere when there's not even a college around?
Well, I'm 16 with a beard, so what's that difference?
They were 35, Matthew.
Matthew, you don't have wrinkles.
Yeah, no, I have my eye bags. I look like I
they're
don't sleep.
My name is Jim.
My name is Jimbo.
I'm 22 years old.
I smoke a pack of Marlboro Reds every day.
Pack of Campbell Joe's every day.
Every hour.
Anyway, old buddy went across the compound, and everyone kind of knew that this guy was like a spy, but no one really like kind of acknowledged it, I guess. And so he thinks he sees something he doesn't like, whether that be a gun part or something. Anyway, ATF raid, and it creates a standoff. A bunch of ATFs get killed, and a bunch of Davidians, that's what they were called, the Davidians. A lot of Davidians get killed. And anyway, it ends up becoming a siege. They held it down. And then just the wackiest thing happened. Their water tanks started to drain. All of their water reservoirs began to drain.
That's wild.
And then, get this. Flammable gas started pouring into their air vents mysteriously. I know.
That's wild, dude.
They were all just the FBI weren't doing anything because they were waiting for them to drink the Kool-Aid, if you know what that means.
Oh, yeah, I know what that means.
Everybody at once. But anyway, they all did it once because the flammable gas in the airway, they didn't suffocate. They all blew up. And anyway, that's the story of Waco, Texas. On to Pablo Escobar.
I don't know much about Pablo Escobar. I was just saying that his friends are super loyal.
I have a question for y'all. Do y'all believe that, I know that Escobar was older, but do you believe that somehow El Chapo and Pablo Escobar kind of like had some kind of connection, like somewhere down the road?
More than likely, they were both into.
They were both in
into
the
drugs
cartel
really
business.
Bill.
I'm sure they had.
I'm sure they
sort
had
of-
some type of connections together. I don't think they were much as like friends because they're both in the cartel, so I mean they're pretty much going up against each other. It's like different businesses, like food businesses, like Texas Roadhouse and like Logan's. It's like they're just doing the same thing, but they're against each other.
I'm sure they had some form of like gentleman's respect.
Oh yeah,
You know, they
But
say keep
I'm
your
sure
friends
they-
close, keep your enemies closer. So,
Yeah.
I'm sure that they
The-
weren't
the
just like
enemy of
best
my enemy
friends.
is my friend.
yeah.
But, yeah.
I know Pablo Escobar did burn $2 million worth of cash to keep his family
Oh yeah,
warm.
it was his daughter. He had like I can't remember where they were, but like he had like $2 million
They were
cash.
hiding out from the FBI. I
Yeah,
think.
and his daughter was cold, and he just burned $2 million cash because he had money like that. He could
Yeah.
just.
Have
And
you
the funny
seen-
thing is, like, you don't realize because that was probably all in like hundreds. $2 million is not a lot whenever you put it together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's not like a lot in like size.
If it's all 100s, it's not.
Oh yeah, it's not that much. Like you could put $2 million across this desk right here
Yeah.
easily.
Some of my favorite things is those pictures of people in places that, they probably shouldn't be. Like the picture of Pablo Escobar and his son outside of the White House.
Oh yeah,
Or that picture of Osama bin Laden in Disney World with his family.
Yeah.
Lord Jesus.
Yeah, that's a young Osama. Or have y'all seen that picture of Obama with a joint in his mouth?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a picture of a young
Was it-
Obama just smoking
he was
on a
born in
J.
Hawaii.
Yeah. No, he was born in Africa.
No,
Yes.
that's where his ancestors were born.
No, there's a conspiracy that
He came from Africa.
there was a conspiracy that he was born in Africa, raised in Hawaii, and then the U.S. the Democrats were so desperate for a black president, they were like, good enough, come on.
You're not even allowed to
these
even
are-
run for a presidential.
These are your
candidate.
papers? Not anymore.
You're not even allowed to be a presidential candidate if you're not from the U.S.
I thought you had to get
That's
citizenship.
why they got rid of all of his papers.
No, not even like if you're not born in the U.S., you cannot even like run.
No,
as
you
a
can't.
president.
You can't hold any political office. I don't think.
No. Like you can like if
I'm sure you could be like the owner. You could be like the president of a book club, maybe. But I mean, you can't. You can't hold any like significant political office.
No.
I don't know how y'all think America should run, but I really do believe that the two-party system will be the downfall of like the U.S. and everything as
because
we
the
know
two
it.
parties are at each other's throats constantly.
Oh, there will be a civil war if the two-party system continues in the route it's been going. There will be a civil war.
What makes me so mad is I'm not a big I am a Republican. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm not. Republicans know everything, but at the same time, I feel like Democrats are so salty if they don't win office, they will literally do things to
I'm
America.
more of like a conservative kind of person. I agree with both things on certain. I agree with both political sides on certain
Yeah,
things.
that's how I am.
I don't like either of them.
But I lean more towards Republican.
Yeah,
But
me too.
I'm a big time libertarian, which is like pretty much just less governmental power, more power to the people.
Yeah, I agree.
Very few, if not any, gun laws, and pretty much just saying leave us alone and we'll leave y'all alone.
I do feel like on the gun laws part, I feel like there should be
There should be a few.
like if you're a felon or like you've been convicted of murder or
or
you
if
have
you're
murdered
mentally unstable,
or if you're mentally ill,
You
yeah.
should be able to have a gun.
No, you shouldn't
Yeah.
have a gun. I don't even think they should be able to have a knife, personally.
yeah.
Not even
because-
a plastic fork for real.
Okay.
That's to an extent.
Oh my God, he's got a spork. All right. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for listening to Down the Rabbit Hole podcast. My name is Dawson.
I'm Jack.
I'm Matthew.
And see y'all next time.
Mm-hmm.